Welcome. I'm Elinor Silverstein, and today I'm here with Linda Tellington-Jones, who's going to talk to you about the history of the development of Tellington TTOUCH.
And this is a magical story, and one of the reasons I'm particularly blessed to be here with Elinor is that of all the people on the planet I get to work with, she actually started with me when I started to bring in these little circular touches in 1979, but I was not aware of it. I'll tell you how that came about. So all of this started was, you could say, predestined, because this little book I've kept all these years. For my 30th birthday in 1967, I saw an ad in the San Francisco Chronicle that said for $5 you could get a astrological chart, the first one that was produced on a computer, and it was in the basement of Stanford University. And so I sent my $5 in and I got it. And what this said is that in my lifetime, I would develop a form of communication that would spread around the world. And in order to do so, I would have to learn to trust my intuition. Well, I had no idea what intuition was at that point. So I went to our library, and my husband, Wentworth Tellington, was 20 years older than I and had a very, very rich spiritual library. And I pulled down a Rosicrucian book and opened it. And in it, it defined intuition as unlearned knowledge. Now, how I understand that today is this is knowledge in the quantum field. It's available for all of us to listen to when we trust that intuition. So over the years, what happened, and how did I get to the point of working on bodies? Because I had writing school at the time. That's a whole other story. So in 1960, my grandfather, Will Kaywood, came to our thoroughbred farm in Hemet, California, and I had not known him before. He was divorced from my grandmother, and when he was 80, he came the first time. And he brought with him a form of gypsy massage that he had learned from Russian gypsies when he was a trainer in Moscow. And that's a whole other amazing story. But with this form of massage, he attributed this to the fact that he won the big, beautiful, jeweled cane of Tsar Nicholas II in 1905 for the most winners at the Moscow racetrack. So over the years, what happened then, we took this form of massage for horses that we learned from him. And my first husband, Wentworth, and I wrote the first book on physical therapy and massage for the athletic horse. And we were using, it was kind of, in the book, you'll see these kind of these circular movements that were made kind of with a fist thing is what is in the book. But I never thought of that because I just thought it was these short little strokes that we did, very short pieces that we did on horse's body, very successfully for 15 years. What happened in 1976, I signed up for a 4-year training with Dr. Moshe Feldenkrais, and that's where Ms. Elinor comes in, because Elinor was in, I graduated from the Humanistic Psychology Institute course with Moshe in 1978, and then some of us were invited to assist at the training in Amherst, California, and Elinor was
Massachusetts.
In Massachusetts, thank you, Amherst, Massachusetts, and Elinor was in that class. And Moshe introduced her, that's her story, she'll be telling that at some point, introduced us, and then Elinor started coming to me. And over the years, I was very successful with the wonderful Feldenkrais work for humans, which of course I learned, and for horses, which I developed this way of working with non-habitual movements for the ground exercise. In 1983, I had this out of the blue experience, intuitive experience, when I was working on a very challenging horse at a veterinary clinic in Delaware. And the owner, one of the vets who owned this clinic where I was giving a T-Touch workshop, a Tellington workshop, asked me to look at this horse. And this was a horse that, for those of you who work with humans, you would say this horse had all the signs of fibromyalgia. She was had pain in every part of the body, didn't want to be touched anywhere, and would try to bite or kick if you groomed her, went to saddle her, all this stuff. So I just put my hands on her very quietly with this beautiful, work, just letting her feel herself. And she got really quiet. And the owner said, okay, Linda, what are you doing? Are you using some kind of energy, or what is your secret? Why is this horse so quiet under your hands? And intuitively, I said, don't worry what I'm doing. Just walk up, put your hands on the shoulder, and move the skin gently in a circle. And when I said that, I thought, okay, what does that mean? Because that's not something that had been in my consciousness, even though Elinor remembers us doing stuff with this in the past. But it wasn't part of what I did at all. And in the moment I thought, okay, I'm not going to say that I don't know why I said that. And she went up and she put her hand on the shoulder just very softly and moved the tissue. And the horse got as quiet for her as she was for me. And in that moment I thought, wow, because my primary work was in the horse world, I thought anybody can do this. Anybody can move skin in a circle. But it takes years to learn this beautiful Feldenkrais work. And I then just started following the track of circles. And this is where, after all these years, what we've come to is now recognizing, it first started to be just a circle. Then I realized, no, a circle isn't enough. You have to complete the circle with a little more. So we'd say a circle and a little more. And you'll see on some of the drawings, it showed the clock, around the face of the clock to 7:30. And then when computers came in, it was not very convenient, is what I thought. So actually a circle and a quarter. And then we found, wow, a circle and a quarter, it's so balanced, it's so clear. You stop and you pause and something happens when you stop and pause there. And over the years, what we've discovered is that circle and a quarter is actually the golden spiral. And we're going to be talking more about this, because what it does is bring us to a connection with divine spirit. And part of this whole thing of why all of you are, I believe, interested in this subject, an online subject, is because of this prediction that was made in Atlantis, in an Atlantean regression that I did in 1984. And in that regression, what I saw, that it was the end of Atlantis. I've done a whole other video on this. And we were all gathered there, taking big crystals to implant around the planet. And we all made a promise. All of you who have been attracted to this work and been with me for many, many years, is, I'm sure, because of that promise we made. Because each one of us, it was predicted, would come back to the planet at a time and find our way back together at a time when there was a critical situation on the planet, which we're in at this time. And each one would bring special gifts, each person. And my gift would be a type of very simple touch that when people would just do it without understanding it, they would remember their connection to divine spirit. And it's taken me all these years to actually actualize this. It's because it is the time that we recognize this. And that when we connect with that divine consciousness, that divine wisdom in every cell in our body, that gives us an experience of heaven on earth. And this definition of intuition, I was looking always, is there a deeper definition of intuition? And somebody, I wish, maybe someone will come forth now and remember, who gave me this little book by Judy G. And in it, it defines this intuition in a way that I believe completely connects with our Tellington TTOUCH basic circle and a quarter, or this golden spiral. Intuition is the manifestation of divine consciousness within you. The manifestation of divine consciousness within you. The messages it sends are essential to our emotional, physical, and spiritual health. Receiving and understanding these truths will change your life and help you find your true path. And I believe this is what we're all doing together in this first 90-day immersion online course that we have, creating the world and the humanity we crave through the gateway of TTOUCH, with the intention of connecting with that divine consciousness with it. So this is why I really believe this is a call for all of us to, just when we go inside and we connect and we recognize the beauty in each person and each animal and each tree and each flower and all the beauty around us. This is heaven on earth. Join us in using the heart hug to go inside and remember, bring back together our soul, recognition that this is a beautiful vehicle, universe. All we have to do is go within to find that place of peace and to create this world we crave. Thank you. Thank you all for being part of this. Let us know how you're feeling. Go to this, our wonderful Facebook site, just for this immersion, and share. And Elinor, thank you for all the years we've done this together and all the wonderful experiences we've had. Aloha.
Aloha.